All right, music fans and other people out there, welcome. Harmless me here talking not about music in this episode, just talking about what's happening in my life for the past 3 or 4 days and just some commentary about some things that went down, doing it in real time for, I don't know, like two or three real people who are left out there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being patrons. And I'm going to focus on one particular patron in this episode because, um, I don't know, Friday, I was just as sick as I've been. It's a stomach virus, and I tried to do videos on Saturday. They all kind of sucked. I'm just going to be honest. Was not my best work, but there were some topics I think that were important. So I tried to get those videos out there. And then I crashed again. And then my wife gets sick. So my kids have been sick. I've been sick. And my wife got sick after I had been sick. So we do a lot of things together as a family. And so that was a lot of fun. Just awful kind of stomach thing. Hard to even understand what it was, but it just hit like a ton of bricks. And I'm still in pain from the stuff that went on during that episode. So, anyway, I'm sending messages on Patreon, and literally my phone it felt like it weighed 50 pounds. I would pick up my phone, like, oh, this phone. Like, I don't want to do anything with this phone today. And I'm like trying to hit the buttons to make things do what they're supposed to do. And my buddy Jim, who's kind of like the country music liaison for the channel, he'll send me videos, really good videos, 99% of the time, music that I either like or I should like, right? So this is how that works. And I said to Jim at one point, yeah, I did a couple of videos today and then I just crashed. And he says to me, I didn't know you did videos today. I'm not getting any of your notifications. So then he went to look up to see if I did videos. And he sends me a message back and he says, all I got when I put stuff in was people who were criticizing you, people who don't like you, people doing videos about you. I'm like, wow. So I said to Jim in a much more thick skinned way compared to when I first started doing this. By the way, I still don't understand. Hence, I tried the harmless Dave thing, and I don't think that's had any effect whatsoever. It might have actually made people more upset for. I honestly don't know. I'm just getting too old to. I don't have the energy. I care, but then at the end of the day, I'm like, I just don't have the energy to deal with this. So, um, I said, I must be a big deal if people are doing videos about me. Um, I can't ever remember me doing a straight up video about a YouTuber, although I have talked about Rick Beato and his opinions on certain things. So I can't say, but it isn't like, oh, Rick Beato is the worst person in the world. I've talked about Eddie Trunk. I don't think he's really a YouTuber. He's got a slightly bigger platform. I just wish Eddie would talk about newer bands and try to fill the void and try to move to, rock next generation or whatever you want to call it. But other than that, I agree a lot with what he says. I guess because I'm negative about certain things and certain bands, I don't like the way they've treated certain people in certain bands, or a lot of things are happening now in classic rock where people want to hold on to the past, and some people won't move on, right? Or some people pretend that certain people are still exactly the way they were 20 or 30 or 40 years ago, and it's not true. So I come along and I do commentary. I don't even know. Um, if one of these people reached out to me and said, hey, I disagree with you about this, let's have a civil conversation about it, I might take them up on it. Or I might say, look, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. Um, I tend to think people are trying to get my attention, like, hey, over here, let's start a fight. Let's start a back and forth. Or especially, they probably have hopefully they have bigger channels than me, right? Because look at this production value. There is no production value here. So um, if you have a small amount of creativity, I'm sure you could surpass what I do here and do a great channel. Um, and you could talk about whatever you want to talk about. And I don't know. I guess part of me should feel like, wow, I'm doing such a great job here that people are coming after me. Um, and look, the whole YouTube business model is kind of built on, I don't want to say gossip, but it's built on salacious content. It's built on headlines. It's you can build a thumbnail that looks like chaos and crisis and explosions and people dying and so forth, and people are going to click on it. They're going to go, "Wow, wonder what this is about," Even if the packaging inside kind of sucks like this, right? People are going to try to find out what's going on. Now, I put out opinions, and a lot of times I base my opinions on either just my gut instincts or the brief career, because I was saying career, brief career in radio that I had. Although if you look at all the different formats I did, but I'm talking about working at a, third market kind of radio station, number one radio station, but it was a big deal for where I lived. And it was a cool thing. You go to college and you take classes, and then you go from college radio right into the pros. So that to me was kind of cool. But I wasted that opportunity. I really wasn't mature enough, and I was really absolutely just stupid and in so many ways. But I learned a lot in those days, and I took that with me. And like I said, I kind of skipped out on the 90s rock scene, and that forms a lot of what I believe when it comes to music. But again, my buddy Jim, a lot of people on Patreon will send me, "Hey, this guy said this about you, and what's wrong with them?" And it's nice to have friends. It's nice to have loyal fans, or whatever you want to call it. I'm fortunate, I built up a fairly decent Patreon. So when these videos don't do anything, because they will sit there and you'll be like, okay, 50 views in a half hour. That's not going anywhere. You kind of know out of the box if the video is a topic people care about. Like, this video is probably going to be something that most people don't want to watch. And I get that, but I figured I would put it out there just to relive my Friday experience. And Jim, my buddy Jim, telling me, I put your information in there to try to look for new videos, and all I got was videos against you. Wow, I've really made it then if people are doing videos against me. I go by the name Harmless Dave because I'm not trying, especially when it comes to just other people doing YouTube or doing other stuff on other platforms. I have no goal to start a fight with anybody. I really don't. Some of these bands, though, maybe, right? Maybe some of these bands, it would be interesting, the back and forth between me and a band. Like, hey, you're a fake band now, and I stuck up for you, even though you're a fake band, and you've gone too far with this, and I call him like I see him. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If you think I'm wrong, then it's, you know what? Yeah, I used to say this like in 2017, 2018, when this big Journey feud between Kane and Sean was going on. I'd say this is just music, people. The death threats aren't really, this doesn't rise to that level. I'm going to come and kill you. It happened. And I'm like, this is just music. And so then people take it to think like, oh, so you don't really care about music, huh? So you can't really make folks happy. So, is it what Ricky Nelson said? Sometimes you just have to please yourself. Garden Party. So that's kind of where I'm at. I apologize. I'm still not at 100% here. Hopefully I will do some content today if you can endure that. And I appreciate the patience, and I appreciate all the folks who jumped over on, various places, whether it was buy me a coffee and said, "Hey, I hope you feel better." So there are nice people out in the world. And it doesn't mean if you do a critical video of me, you're not a nice person. I just, I just take it as, well, you don't like what I'm saying. And I often say, if you don't like what I'm saying, start your own channel. But I'm not saying start your own channel so you can criticize me 24 hours a day. Um, I don't know. I mean, we're all kind of trying to find our way with whatever we're doing here on YouTube. And to me, unless it's a life or death issue, which in some cases, by the way, there may be some people that don't like my take on the pharmaceutical industry because that's way outside where I'm supposed to be. So when I start talking about that stuff, people are like, "Oh, he's one of those." And so then my stock value goes down even further. Yeah, he doesn't like the 90s and he doesn't like big pharma, you know. So that might be it. I don't know. He doesn't like the 90s and he doesn't like big pharma. So that could be my problem. I don't know, folks, but I appreciate those that continue to put up with this, which is me. Thanks for watching. God bless everyone. There are bigger issues like peace in the Middle East we should pray for. That Iran-Israel thing. Those are the serious issues, right? Music is supposed to kind of be like an escape for most people. And I try to do a little bit of both here. I try to do the escape stuff, but I also try to focus people on some important topics that they're probably not expecting. And maybe that's a problem too. Maybe, again, there are other places you can get information from. There are guys that just do music from start to finish, and they have no interest in politics and what's going on. And that's probably really smart and disciplined of them to do it that way. After 2020, though, I couldn't just talk about when Gene Simmons is telling me what to do with my life and calling me all kinds of names because I'm not going to do what the government tells me to do. Then yeah, it's kind of time to start pushing back a little bit against this stuff. And if we don't push back against, because they're using everybody, it's pop culture, music, movies, television. They use everybody in different industries to put out this message, and this message is going to get us all 6 feet under if we continue to just go along with it. So all right, I covered a lot of ground there. I just thought it was interesting how Jim told me about how there are people apparently doing videos about me and they don't like me. So that's fine. I guess what else? What can I do? See you soon.